Daniel never imagined his marriage would end beside a lonely highway. One Friday evening, after another exhausting argument, his wife, Rachel, stopped the car and told him she needed space. Before he could respond, she grabbed her purse, ordered a rideshare, and left him standing beside their luggage alone again. The evening air was cold, and Daniel stared at the disappearing taillights, wondering how years of marriage could suddenly feel meaningless. His phone battery was nearly dead, his wallet remained inside Rachel's bag, and the nearest town was miles away. He sat roadside, fighting embarrassment, anger, and disappointment quietly nearby. After 20 minutes, headlights appeared in the distance. Daniel expected a passing driver, but the vehicle slowed before stopping beside him. To his surprise, Rachel's best friend, Emily, stepped out. She lowered the window and asked softly, "Daniel, what happened?" He couldn't answer immediately because seeing her made everything real. Emily had always been kind to Daniel, but their relationship remained respectful and distant. She knew Rachel better than almost anyone, yet she had never interfered in their marriage. Now she looked at him standing beside two suitcases, completely exhausted. Without asking unnecessary questions, she unlocked the passenger door completely. "Get in," Emily said. "We'll figure everything out later." Daniel hesitated, embarrassed by the situation. Emily simply smiled and added, "You don't have to explain anything tonight." That sentence broke something inside him. He placed the suitcases into her trunk, climbed inside, and finally allowed himself to breathe again finally. During the drive, Emily stopped at a small roadside diner and bought him coffee and food. Daniel realized he hadn't eaten since morning. He tried thanking her, but she waved away his words. "You can thank me when you're warm, fed, and somewhere safe," she said, sounding almost like family. Daniel eventually explained what had happened, carefully avoiding insults toward Rachel. Emily listened silently. When he finished, she sighed and admitted Rachel had called her. She knew there had been tension, but she hadn't realized Rachel planned to leave him stranded. Emily looked disappointed, not angry, and said nothing cruel. "I don't want you thinking I'm taking sides," Emily said. "Rachel is my best friend, and I care about her. But what happened tonight wasn't right." Daniel looked down at his coffee. He hadn't expected anyone to defend him, especially so close to Rachel. For the first time, he felt seen. Emily drove Daniel to a guest room at her home. She explained that her spare bedroom was empty and that he could stay until he decided what to do. Daniel refused, saying he didn't want to create problems. Emily shook her head. "Being stranded isn't creating problems. Help is human." That night, Daniel barely slept. He replayed every conversation from his marriage, wondering when affection had become resentment. In the morning, Emily left breakfast outside his door and a handwritten note saying, "No pressure. Eat first, decide later." Daniel stared at those words longer than he expected, feeling unexpectedly grateful. Over the next few days, Emily helped Daniel contact his bank, retrieve his belongings, and find temporary accommodation. She never criticized Rachel and never encouraged Daniel to retaliate. Instead, she reminded him to make decisions when calm. Her kindness confused him because he had become accustomed to solving everything alone. Rachel eventually called. Daniel answered, expecting anger. Instead, she apologized for leaving him without transportation or money. She said she had been overwhelmed and needed distance. Daniel accepted the apology, without pretending everything was fixed. Emily stayed in another room, deliberately giving them privacy while Daniel considered what he wanted. The conversation lasted nearly an hour. Rachel admitted their marriage had been failing for months, but neither had known how to say it. Daniel felt hurt, yet relieved. They agreed to separate peacefully, rather than turning their pain into a war. When the call ended, he sat quietly, processing everything. Emily returned with 2 cups of tea, but didn't ask what Rachel had said. Daniel appreciated that restraint. After several minutes, he told her they had decided to separate. Emily nodded gently. "Then your next chapter starts now," she said. Daniel smiled faintly, realizing he believed her more than himself. As weeks passed, Daniel moved into a small apartment and began rebuilding his routine. He worked, exercised, cooked simple meals, and spent evenings reading. Emily remained a supportive friend, checking in occasionally without becoming intrusive. Their friendship grew naturally because neither tried to force it into something it wasn't quietly. One rainy evening, Daniel admitted that Emily's kindness had changed his understanding of friendship. He told her he had expected people to choose sides after the separation. Emily smiled and said, "Real friendship isn't about choosing teams. It's about refusing to abandon someone simply because life becomes uncomfortable." Daniel eventually realized he had developed feelings for Emily, but he kept them to himself. She was Rachel's best friend, and the situation remained complicated. He didn't want gratitude to become confusion. Emily seemed to sense his hesitation and assured him that their friendship didn't require immediate answers or difficult decisions. Months later, Daniel and Rachel finalized their separation respectfully. There were difficult moments, but neither tried to destroy the other. Rachel thanked Emily for helping Daniel that night. She admitted that leaving him stranded had been wrong. Emily accepted the apology, while Daniel quietly appreciated the maturity everyone had gained. Time had passed. Daniel finally told Emily how he felt. He emphasized that he didn't expect anything and valued their friendship first. Emily smiled and admitted she had wondered whether his feelings might change. She asked for time, wanting to be certain their connection came from genuine affection, not loneliness. Eventually, Daniel and Emily began dating slowly, carefully, and honestly. There was no betrayal or romance, only two adults choosing trust after difficult experiences. Daniel never forgot the night his wife left him stranded. He remembered it because another person stopped, opened her door, and reminded him that kindness could change everything.